finale of fireworks, all in the name of freedom. 20,000 tons of pyrotechnics. A stunning salute to Lady Liberty. Good evening, I'm Alan Frio, and New York Harbor here has been lit up like it has never been lit up before, with the largest fireworks display ever staged in America. The world's most spectacular fireworks launch from 30 barges floating in New York Harbor. Truly an awesome display of color and sound. There was daytime beauty as well here in New York Harbor. The International Naval Review, an impressive parade of fine naval vessels from 13 countries, and of course the United States. And as the sun set over Liberty Park, John Williams and the Boston Pops serenaded an audience of thousands with all-American music. But on the 4th of July, the finale is fireworks. And what a finale it was over the newly christened Statue of Liberty. Some 20,000 boats are calling New York Harbor home tonight, and of those, really only a couple of dozen commanded any kind of attention. We're talking about the beautiful tall ships. And Channel 10's Terry Ruggles was aboard Philadelphia's own tall ship, the Gazela Primero.
Get those coils, stand by the staysail gear, halyards, sheets, downhaul.
The Gazela entered New York Harbor just before 12:30. 40 Philadelphia volunteers and almost double that in passengers, taking part in the greatest assemblage of modern-day sailing ever.
Oh, absolutely, no question. Far and away. This is just the most wonderful thing. I can't imagine what I'm going to dream of next and get, because this is really my dream.
The parade that took hours started before dawn, with the tall ships gathering off Staten Island. Coordination and spacing are critical to this parade of sail. Now, there's a Coast Guard officer on each of the Class A tall ships to make sure they stay 1,800 feet apart. Gazela and the other tall ships moved slowly through a sea of smaller boats, and the Coast Guard had its hands full trying to keep those small boats out of the way of these grand dames of the ocean.
Tell that small craft I'm waving them off. Get out!
There was silence and respect as Gazela, the oldest tall ship, passed the aircraft carrier Kennedy, one of the newest in the fleet. And there was complete amazement at the thousands of little boats that circled the Statue of Liberty. From the statue, the Gazela passed Governor's Island, where President Reagan watched the ships pass in review. And then it was up the Hudson past millions of people who lined the sidewalks. The Gazela is special not only because it is the oldest sailing ship, its crew is made up of men and women of all ages.
We've all been working for this day, and it seems unreal. We're just doing things automatically, and it's fantastic.
Fantastic may be the best way to describe the crew, the day, and the celebration of history and heritage, and the lady in the harbor who has been a sign of opportunity and freedom to millions. Terry Ruggles, Channel 10 News, aboard the Gazela.
Along New York Harbor, and in New York City for that fact, an estimated 6 to 10 million people watched the tall ships and celebrated the 4th of July here at the Big Apple, and Brian Williams was with quite a few of them.
It was a great sight, the first glimpse of the U.S. Coast Guard Eagle, #1 coming up the river, and for thousands of people, Governor's Island was the place to be. Front row seats and rave reviews for the 22 ships and escorts, 2 entire fleets, 200 craft in all happy customers.
I get a sense today of just how significant and different it is to be an American than I would get any other day that I can remember.
Patriotism ran rampant across the island. No attempt to stop it. That would be difficult given this kind of a backdrop. One Delaware Valley family joined right in. The Elner family from Philadelphia quickly caught the spirit, saying it's high time to wave the flag.
I think it's wonderful, and without a doubt, patriotism has increased. People aren't afraid to show it like they were before.
We need more of this. We need more and more of this every day. People have to be reminded constantly, and I think this helps to keep it that way. Fantastic.
Just as some of the ships had sailed halfway around the world to be here, some had come halfway around the world to see them, to be a part of this. Not far from where the tall ships sail, there's a place called Lower Manhattan, on this day transformed into one big party, the sounds of Harbor Fest 1986.
shirts right here.
Down. Oh, boy, but yeah. Down.
Somebody sat down and figured out the numbers. Enough mustard to cover the George Washington Bridge, 750,000 hot dogs, 7 million cans of soda and beer, and it doesn't stop. A big crowd, but orderly. The streets closed to make way for 2 million 4th of July partygoers from all over. In Manhattan, most of the day, the streets were desolate. Many New Yorkers chose to go away for the weekend. But those who stayed, those who took part in the festivities, were glad they did.
Everybody that left made a mistake.